This is the base portion of a 1963 GM bucket seat. It happens to be the passenger side, although it could have used the driver's side as well. I'm going to convert it to two-way power from manual. I've already removed the manual tracks, which are over here. There are 4 mounting holes for the tracks, one at each corner. These are 5/16 number 18 thread. I've chased the threads with a 5/16 tap, and everything else is ready to go. Alright, so first I'm going to install the outboard track, and you can tell that this is the outboard track because that's what's written down here at the bottom. To do that, I'm going to have to first install my rubber cushions. Actually, this is rubber mounted between 2 pieces of 1/8" steel flat bar. And they'll sit right here, right there. And then I'll get my special alignment tool and my 5/16 number 18 Allen head bolt. Okay, there's one. I'll leave it kind of loose for now. There's the other. And you want it snug, but not too tight. Now normally I'd put Loctite glue on the threads of these bolts in order to keep them from loosening up and backing out over time. But in this case, I'm going to be breaking everything down again in order to sandblast the base, prime it, and install new seat springs. So I don't want to put any thread locker on the threads just yet. Okay, same thing on the inboard side. My alignment tool. There we go. Bolt. Bolt. Now next we're going to install the outboard drive assembly. Set that right down in place. We'll secure it with a small bracket later on. I do want to point out though that these drive tracks use ball bearings to minimize sliding friction, whereas the original power seats used these plastic bushings called slide glides. They didn't minimize friction as well, and they wore out fairly quickly. Okay. Next, I'm going to install the drive motor. To do that, I'll first need to put into position the inboard drive assembly. Get my drive motor here. I have to line up the shaft. This is the only really tricky part here. There we go. And let's get this side in. Okay. And temporarily position that inboard drive assembly if you can get it to behave. There we go. Alright. And now what we're going to do is fasten the lower brackets. There's one bolt. And there's the other bolt. Now this is a 30 amp high torque permanent magnet motor with dual output shafts. This is the control relay. This is the power relay. This is the control switch, which is just a standard double pole, double throw rocker switch with a neutral position in the center. This is my crappy wiring job. However, I did take the time to install period correct Packard Series 56 electrical connectors, the same as the ones used back in the day. Okay. First I need to point out that you need to make sure that there's an approximately equal distance between the shuttle block and the gear case housing on each side, and the way you do that is by counting off the threads between the two on the screw shaft on each side, just like it says in the instruction manual, which I haven't written yet. Now we need to install the brackets and make sure that gear case doesn't pop out of its slot. And these are pretty tiny screws, making it a little bit difficult. You have to have some dexterity, which I do not have. Alright. I got that one in. And let's see if we can get this one staked down in place. There we go. Alright. I'll go ahead and make this connection here. That's that. Now the next thing we're going to have to do, we're going to have to fasten the drive tracks to the shuttle block, and the way we're going to do that is by hooking up some temporary power, because we need the shuttle block to move into this position here where the bolts will go. So let's get some temporary power. Yeah, I'm using a 12-volt battery charger. Temporary power. Pick this up. Oh. Well, that's perfect. Disconnect temporary power. install these T27 Torx screws. Got one more. Looks pretty good. Let's check it out just to make sure everything's working all right. Molto bene. Last but not least, we need to install the floor brackets. Whoops, wrong hole. There we go. These also need to be sandblasted and painted, of course. I'm just going to hot bolt them for now. I'll be taking them off again. Almost ready to give it a try. Alright, we got it hooked up electrically. Let's give it a whirl. Looks pretty good.